I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at the Shard for the big launch here for Perkins Engines, and with Matt. Matt, we've just talked about the aftermarket piece with the whole of the audience here, and what really struck me is 4.5 million Perkins engines, 5,000 different applications, and they're all being looked after by your team and the distributor team through an advanced approach to the aftermarket space. It really is important that we're testing things, that we're doing things at the development stage, and then taking that into the marketplace and supporting them really well. And one of your team went to see that action of some engines at -40 in Sweden to make sure that we had all of those things lined up. So tell me a little bit about the type of approach that you've got in supporting the OEMs and ultimately their customers.
Sure. Thanks, Peter. We test our products and design our for the aftermarket from the very outset. So from the very first clean sheet of engine design, we put in the first drawing line on paper. We're designing for the aftermarket from the very outset. What that means is that during our test and validation phases, we're also testing those solutions are going to be fit for all of those 5,000 different applications and what customers need in their different equipment that they're powering that's got Perkins powered engines in. The difference though really is in the detail, because when you have a genuine part, we're essentially, which we have some here today, and
Indeed.
Yep.
The filter, folks.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep. Genuine parts perform because of the extensive validation that we've conducted in the research and development labs that we have throughout the globe, and also through the testing that we've done on site in real world applications in a program we call Field Follow.
Yep.
One of the examples that we talked about here earlier is the cold climate testing we do northeast of Sweden, which is 100 kilometers from the Arctic Circle, where for 4 weeks at a time the temperatures never get above -40. Those harsh environments are great though, because they allow us to test the reliability and the durability and ensure the quality of these components is going to perform in the harshest of environments just when Perkins powered equipment owners need it. They know they can count on us for those components to deliver, and those genuine parts will deliver because of the rigorous testing that we've done and the pride that we've taken in the parts.
Now, folks, what we've learned today is, filters like this are actually protecting the ultimate part of the engine, which is the injector, which basically, if particulates get through this into the injector, we've got big problems. We've got a fuel burn that goes up because you're pushing through the injector, you've got blockages, you've got whole problems in the whole life cycle elements to the engine being looked after just because you're not using a genuine filter and a genuine part. What that really does is say to people, look, the savings you can make with stage 5 are all there. Everything else that if you manage it properly, is all there. But why would you scrimp and just chucking a will-fit filter in when you're literally going to have all sorts of those sort of problems in the whole life cycle then of your engine? It's just so important that the little things are got right, isn't it?
It is. That's why when we sell Perkins Eco Plus or genuine fuel filters or oil filters, we call it low cost of ownership.
Yep.
Because what's actually happening is this and this filter here are the first line of defense.
Yep.
The patented IP technologies that have gone into the design of this are guaranteed to perform and ensure that contaminants and leakage doesn't happen through this filter design. Why would you take the risk?
No, exactly.
What you're going to get, if you do take that risk, is you're going to get increased fuel consumption.
Yep.
You're going to get the likelihood of having to change expensive parts.
Yep.
Fuel injectors and fuel pumps are downstream from a fuel filter. The oil filter, you've got your crankshaft, you've got your turbocharger, you've got your con rods. All of those could be exposed to contaminants and particles. In an air filter, you've got debris and dust and ingress that could come through and also infect the rest of a highly sensitive and complex engine system.
And I think what really also stands out for me is when you're talking about the longevity of engines. So we've talked about also here today that you've got remanufactured parts. You can actually, get a whole engine overhaul. There's packs that you put together for the extended life of your engine at certain periods in time. So all of these things are working hard to get the engine able to work hard for the customer, no matter what it is through its life cycle. And when you look at remanufactured parts as well, 30% saving you mentioned earlier, and that's critical when you look at the overall life cycle cost of owning a piece of equipment. If you can extend that life of the engine, you extend the use of the equipment, you also keep the value in that for the market and the second-hand market when you put it on against an auction, for example.
Yeah, and I think another point is that they're sustainable solutions.
Right.
You can return your core product through a Perkins distributor and know that there's a sustainable solution, and there'll be a remanufacture process or a new fold replacement process through that as well, Peter. So, yeah, it's a compelling program. We call it Perkins Power Exchange,
Yep.
and it's available through the 88 distributors of Perkins. So.
And the other thought I had today was when you were saying the hypercare. It's almost like we're taking people to another planet at another speed here with the packages that you actually do when people have got critical periods or they want a specific support. So you mentioned people like farmers in the olive groves in Turkey and things like that actually at critical points of the harvest, they need that extra care, and they need the focus to know that they can concentrate on getting all that produce in within that window. And that is just absolutely critical when you're using technology to make sure the engines are performing before the season even comes in, but there to support with that immediate sort of fault finding and the service team right there.
Yep, that's it. Perkins powered equipment owners need their equipment to be performing.
Yep.
And if that is during a harvest, they need that equipment to perform. They can get peace of mind and reassurance through either the Perkins Platinum Protection, which is a beyond standard warranty, or you've mentioned Perkins Hypercare.
Yep.
Customised, tailored solutions, essentially allowing service intervals and service trained technicians to cover the servicing, and that they know that the repair parts or the service parts even are going to be there, all within agreed time periods. That's about maximum productivity, which our customers care about, minimising downtime, ensuring that Perkins powered equipment performs in an optimal way. Yeah.
And of course, we've got another little new addition, folks. This device here helps those engines talk to you and your aftermarket team. And again, the APIs are also coming in from the engines now, and the sensors and the technology, and the data's being shared all around through the apps and stuff. So it really is a transformational change that you're making. April 2024, this is going to be available on all sorts of different machines, engines that people can monitor, and they can have a two-way conversation. They have a fault coming in, then they go and have a conversation with your Perkins team. We're going, actually, this is what we would suggest happening. Here's the 3 different scenarios of what parts you might need, and it all goes to the right place at the right time, doesn't it? It's just about taking all this data and knowledge and making the engine work hard as much as possible and getting that uptime level there, isn't it?
Yeah. Connectivity solutions and Perkins connectivity hardware, which, as you said, is coming soon, really allows us to be connected through data with our Perkins powered equipment customers, and it will allow us to support them in their service needs or their aftermarket needs, and be essentially there with them or ahead of them and predicting what's going to be happening to that engine. So again, no risk of downtime once you've got connected data and connected hardware that's helping us understand what's going on in that equipment, and our talented team of engineers and a uniquely talented experts that understand what's going on when they see that data come through, and we know what essentially the right aftermarket parts and service solutions will be needed to keep that machine running essentially as like new. So
And I'd have one prediction for you folks. As we get further and further down this data space and new products are launched and the genuine parts are used, I predict a lot more uptime for Perkins Engines in the future. Thanks to you and your team, Matt. Great to actually
Thank
meet
you.
you. Cheers.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.